Hi everyone, part two of yeast breads, and I apologize profusely. I didn't realize that the camera mode I had it in, the steps are all backwards, so I apologize. So let's go through them real quick. Step one, scale ingredients. Step two, mixing. Step three, fermentation, which I'm letting the dough sit now that I made, and it's fermenting. And basically, fermentation happens throughout the whole process until you put the bread into the oven. The yeast is killed at 140, and once yeast is killed, fermentation is complete. Whoops. Oops. Step four, folding, which I showed you how to do. Step five, divide or portion, whatever size loaf or pizza you want to make. Step six, rounding. Round the dough. Doesn't take very long, pretty easy to do. Step seven, bench rest, which I've been doing. And so now we are back to step eight, makeup and panning. So I'm going to do the pizza first. And I have the dough here that's been rounded. A little bit of flour on the silicone mat. And I'm going to roll it out. Maybe a little flour on the top as well. So when you roll, go all the way top to bottom, turn. I do not know how to twirl it and lift it up in the air, so you aren't going to see that. So you see how it's stretching? That's what I want. Keep turning, trying to keep it as round as possible. And you're going to try and get it as thin as you can. I like it very thin. So keep stretching. Stretch. 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 You don't want it to stick to the silicone mat, because then you're just going to be tearing at it. So you can even try and do it. I'm going to try and do it. Back of your hands, right? Pull, stretch, stretch. Okay. A little bit more. Of course, your local pizza place will probably have a dough sheeter, and they take that ball of dough and run it through the sheeter. So they're not hand rolling. That would take a lot of time. But most of us do not have a sheeter in our house. So learn to do it by hand. All right. Pull and stretch. Now, if you feel like it's not stretching really well, you can let it relax, right? Let it sit for, 10 minutes again, and it should stretch really well for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my pan. Now, I don't spray it, it's non-stick. So now I can even spread it even more. Again, I'm going to let it sit. A little bit of plastic on it, of course. See if I can get it to stretch even more after I let it rest. So let's go ahead and work on the Italian loaf. Again, this is a small amount, but I just want to give you the shape that it's going to be. So kind of press it out. You'll see air bubbles, and that's fine. That's the carbon dioxide. Try and make a rough rectangle. Can you see I didn't really add a lot of flour? No flour actually, so. All right, so for this, I'm going to fold it into about the middle. Press it down real well. So Italian bread is different from a baguette in that the shape, really, because they're both pretty much those four same ingredients. But a baguette would be a really long, thin piece of bread. The Italian bread is usually a little thicker. So I'm just going to leave it literally like this. Make sure the seam is seam side down when you put it on the pan. Now, if you want, you could certainly make your ends a little nicer, and that's just kind of pushing down, and you make them kind of like that. But again, that starts to look like a baguette. But I leave it pretty thick. It's going to get a nice size Italian bread. So I'm going to use this silicone mat that I have that's got all those little perforated holes in it. It's for bread making. And I'm just going to put it like that. Put a little, oops, excuse me, little pan spray on it. And then cover it with plastic and let it rise. So this would be called proofing. But I'm not going to put it in a warm oven because I've got the oven set for the pizza. So I'm just going to lightly cover it. Don't make it too tight because you got to let it expand on its own. And just keep it in a warm place. And once it doubles in size, then I will show you how to finish it, slash it, and get it into the oven. All right, let's finish our pizza. Okay, bring that back. All right. Let's see if I can stretch it some more. Yeah, a little bit. It's got a little bit more stretch. Good. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. 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 Look at that. That little bit of relaxation. Relax the gluten. Now, certainly you could redo the little crust, you could do like roll up the crust on the edge, but I'm going to leave it free form. But that's kind of cool. You could kind of just pinch it and roll it up, get like a thick crust there. See that? But that's okay. Got to keep it nice and thin. Let's put our pizza sauce on it. Do it just like they do in the pizza shops. Some of my first waitressing jobs were at pizza places, so kind of watched how everything happened. Put the sauce down. Take the back of a ladle. Spread it out. Okay. If you want to make your own homemade sauce, that's great, but I just bought some. All right. I'm going to go to just, give about a 1/2 inch around the outer crust. And maybe a little bit more. All right. That looks pretty good. All right. I'm going to put a little Italian seasoning on it. Might have some already in the sauce, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. This is oregano, I believe parsley. All right, good. Add my cheese. I bought some pre-shredded, it's called bold cut mozzarella. It's a bigger shred of mozzarella than normal. Try this for the first time. I like cheese, but I don't want too much, so it's finding that right balance. Ingredients. This is a 8-ounce package, and it looks like it's might as well use it all. Spread it out real nice here. All right, good. Add my sausage. Just spread it out. I don't think I'd win any awards for speed here, but that's okay. You know, it's homemade. It's going to taste great. I'm getting hungry. This will be my lunch today, and probably lunch tomorrow. I probably won't eat it all. I can tell you now I'm not going to eat it all. Maybe I'll have to share with my neighbors. Hopefully if you're baking, you share. Maybe with your neighbors or friends. There you go. There's your homemade pizza. I actually increased the oven to 475 and probably should take less than 10 minutes. So stay tuned for part 3 to finish up the Italian bread and to show you what my pizza looks like. All right? Bye, guys.